Good afternoon or morning, wherever you are in the world, everyone. Welcome back to the Crew Fitness UK channel, whether you're watching this on Instagram or YouTube. My name is Hayley and I am the founder and owner of Crew Fitness UK Limited. And today is going to be a tutorial on how to improve back pain or posture if you're working at a desk or if you are a pilot. So I've had quite a lot of requests from pilots, particularly on this. So I thought I'd talk about why it is that you could be suffering from some form of back pain from your job. So obviously when you're sat at controls or a desk, you're going to be kind of leaning forward where you're at that chair for a very long period of time, whether it's holding controls or whatever it is, or you're at a desk typing. So notice this is lengthening and then this is tightening. So the front is tightening, the back is lengthening, and so it's going to get tighter and tighter. You can also start to find that you get a little bit more of a dip in your neck as well. And then that's why we need to really work and focus on strengthening those rhomboids, traps, and those lats in order to support your back. I can go over numerous other videos on how to strengthen your bottom sort of muscles and everything to be able to stabilize your core some more. But today I predominantly want to go over why you could be having problems from sat at a desk or at controls. So how can we do this at home or in a hotel room? I'll go over those few bits of equipment that I find really helpful for that. So the first one is a suspension trainer, which I got from Decathlon, only $14.99. You can of course use like a TRX or other numerous leading brands, but I particularly wanted this one because it was cheap, only $14.99 like I say, and it's easy to pack away, and yeah, it's a no-brainer. So we're going to use this. We're also going to go over a few moves with a long resistant band with handles. Again, I got this from Decathlon. The resistance on this one is 5 kg or 10 pounds. And last but not least, a long, strong resistant band. Now, obviously you can get various different resistance levels for this. I personally bought this extra strong one for particular moves because I use it quite often on compound moves or using large muscle groups. So that requires a little bit more of a difficulty level compared to me doing on my shoulders, for example. So let's go over firstly what we can do with the suspension trainer. So notice here I've got my kitchen door. And we've got an anchor point here. So what we're going to do, open the door. Notice it opens away from me, okay? That's really important when it comes to setting these up, that the door opens away from you. You're then going to hook this behind the door, close towards the corner of the door, close it, okay? So now you just need to pull it and the anchor is in place. So it's nice and safe to use. Now do not fret if you are worried about whether it's going to take your weight. These can take up to about 100 kilos, so you are absolutely fine, unless you've got a very, very dodgy door. Now, so we'll notice here that we've got the adjustable buckle, as we'll call it. I'm going to pop that up here, so we've got a nice sort of medium height for me to do back rows in a moment. But yeah, so you can do this obviously at home, you could do this in a hotel room, up to you. Now, grabbing your handles, we're going to show you how to do a back row. So stepping back, hopefully we can get this into the camera. Now obviously the lower I go, the harder it is because I'm going against gravity. So I'm going to come back, I'm going to row in, but I'm going to imagine I'm squeezing a grape between my shoulder blades. Come back down and back up, squeezing at the top and back down. Back up. You could also then do some singular rows instead. So I would say just take one step forward so you've just got a little bit of balance and you row in. Notice I'm keeping my back nice and straight throughout the movement. There are other various exercises that you can do with a suspension trainer, but I'm just going to show you those couple of movements. But there are plenty of others. All I say is go on YouTube and just type in TRX workouts. There are plenty on there for you to have a look through. The next thing I want to go over is how I would use a nice, strong, resistant band. Obviously, you can use to whatever level you like. You can get from the lightest of light to incredibly strong like this one. So this one I would say is probably around sort of a 25, 30 kg sort of resistance. So firstly, what I'm going to do is show you how I do it with a door and then without. So again, open the door, loop it around the door handle, The band is now going either side of the door latch, and then I'm going to firmly close it. Okay, so it's nice and strong now. And what I'm going to do is lean down, getting a good grip without grabbing the plant, getting a good grip of the band. We're going to do some back rows. So we just again squeeze and come back forward. Squeeze and come back forward. Okay? Notice again, I'm keeping my back nice and straight and strong, imagining that I'm bursting a little grape in between my shoulder blades. There are plenty of movements. You could also do it where it's like a face pull. Okay? That's really working on the upper part of your back there and your shoulder muscles. Right? So we got that there, working on those lovely muscles. Now how would I use this on the floor? Got a bit tangled there. Right. So firstly, if we're doing it from a standing position, what we can do, placing my foot in the middle of the band, we're then going to push our shoulder blades back, look forward, keep your back nice and straight, and we're going to row in, squeezing that grape between the shoulder blades, and back down, and back up, and down, okay? So a nice way to do this, you can do it with both feet, of course, but I find that you get more of a stable position if you're doing so, and you're supporting your back, because quite often if you use both feet forward, you're more likely to feel it a little bit more in your lower back, and it might cause some twinges. So yeah, that's one thing I would recommend. The other thing that you can do is a deadlift. So I will use both feet looped in the middle for this. Slight bend in my knees, looking forward, and we're going to come up, squeeze the glutes at the top, and come back down. Sorry, you could probably hear my son in the background there. And back up, and back down. You can make it harder for yourself by putting your feet slightly further apart, so you've got more resistance. Back up, and back down. Notice again that I'm keeping my back nice and straight. Now the wonderful thing about deadlifts, it's a great compound move. So it's really going to be working on your back, your hamstrings and your glutes, everything, and including your core. So much then stabilizing and looking after your spine. The last thing that you can do with this is you can do a squat. So having this slightly wider, I find. Back nice and straight. We're going to come up, squeeze the glutes at the top, come back down. Okay. Back up and down. Now the glutes are definitely something I find particularly with men. They do neglect their glutes to then support their back, but it's an incredibly important muscle in order to prevent back pain as well. Now, sitting on the floor and doing different back movements now. Please excuse how dirty my socks are. I've been out in the garden in white socks, very clever. What we're going to do, nice straight back, and what we can do is we can do back rows again, squeezing that grape between the shoulder blades and back down and back up and down. You can also do alternating, so you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we go. We've got some nice movements there that really work on your back muscles. Highly, highly recommend. And the last thing I want to show you all is going to be with this long resistant band with handles, light resistance this one is. We're going to loop this round the door handle. Right, this one doesn't quite close, I will admit. What we're going to do, hopefully we can get this in the camera. We're going to do some flies. So we come out and back in. Now notice, obviously, I am showing where it's a little bit of slack in the band, purely just so I can get it in the camera. But the further back you are, the harder it gets, so you have more resistance. But I want you to be imagining again that we're squeezing at the top of the movement. I don't want any shrugging up here. I want you keeping it nice and low. So we're really working on those rhomboids and back out. So nice simple movement, okay? The resistance on this one, like I say, is only 5 kg. Some people might find they need to go for a 2.5, but it definitely works on those muscles. The last movement I would like to show you, again with this band, Standing with your feet in the middle, hinging the hips forward, we're going to be doing front raises, okay? Now notice when I say hinge the hips forward, keeping a nice straight back. And we're going to be doing front raises without hitting the plant, hey? Up and back down, okay? So that's really working on your shoulders, the back of your shoulders, and also your traps and slightly on your lats as well. So anyway, I hope that tutorial has helped you out somewhat and gives you a good idea of how that you can strengthen your back with just a few basic pieces of equipment. If there are any other areas that you wish for me to cover, whether it be more about leg focus, so for example on your quads or your glutes or your hamstrings, or if you're wanting to look more into core stability or something like that, I'm more than happy to go over it. But purely today, this was going over how to strengthen these back exercises to bring those shoulder blades back. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.